You have now entered the Penny Bloom Podcast, hosted by none other than Colton Robertson and Tavares Pennington. I hope you are prepared for a show unlike any that you've ever seen before. Or heard, I guess it's a podcast, so you aren't going to see anything. Welcome back. This is the Penny Bloom Podcast.
How do we do?
Tis I,
And
Coro Bloom.
And tis me, Tavares Pennington.
Hello, Tavares Pennington. How are you doing today?
Well, good.
Good.
Yeah,
Today we have had quite the day.
we have.
We
Yeah.
recorded episode 1.
Uh-huh.
So for anybody listening, this is the exact same day as the first one.
Same day,
Where
cracking
we
out.
just kept talking about Game of Thrones for an hour and a half on end, and we dove into
Yeah.
endless rabbit holes.
Probably could talk
This-
for an hour more.
Oh, absolutely. We probably will at some point.
Probably will.
In this episode, it's a little bit more formatted. You'll appreciate that, I'm sure. And we're going to get started with this year's music scene. Tavares?
So, this year, 2019, we've seen a lot of, well, I wouldn't even say a lot of releases from artists who don't often release albums. We've had a Khalid drop, we've had the Kevin Abstract drop, we've had Schoolboy Q drop, YG, Steve Lacy, Tyler. These are all people who, don't regularly drop albums.
Yeah, they're
so,
year and a half, 2 years apart.
yeah. So these are things that people have been waiting on, particularly looking at Steve Lacy, his debut project. Zachariah, he had his debut EP.
Or Zakari, if you...
Where's the car?
We're still up in the air. We don't know exactly how to pronounce it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And Khalid, his huge follow-up album to...
American Teen.
Yeah, American Teen, which was a smash
American
hit.
Teen is a
That-
classic for me.
Yeah,
I think it'll ultimately end up being a classic, too.
Yeah, and it kind of has to. We were in high school when it came out. Like,
Yeah.
there's that is a high school kid album.
Oh,
like,
for
there's
sure.
just no other way
for
to
sure.
put it.
And I think Free Spirit,
Oh yeah,
it's a great follow-up.
Free Spirit was a good follow-up. But let's start with the biggest one. I guess we can agree on. Which is
Igor. Igor, Tyler, the creator, did it again.
Yeah. How does he keep doing it?
Dude, what's astounding to me is that if you go through his discography, no two albums will sound the same at all. And this feels like the peak. Mm-hmm. I hope it isn't.
Yeah.
But it feels like it is.
Yeah.
It feels like his entire career has been working upwards to this point.
Exactly.
And he dropped Igor, which is just a seamless, just one track to the next, beautiful, cohesive project.
Yeah, it really is. And it feels like he took like the things that influenced him to make Goblin, like Wolf, and make Flower
Bastard
Boy,
and- yeah.
Bastard, like all of these different albums.
It's everything
And
combined.
just put it together onto this musical palette, which really can't even be defined. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you listen to it, and he even put out a thing before this on Twitter, before the album dropped on Twitter, just basically explaining.
Do not expect this to be anything
Yes.
that I've done before.
Yes.
Don't even
And-
be expecting rap.
Right. Like, and he was literally like, don't do anything while listening to this album. Like, don't fucking wash dishes or drive or just lay on the floor and listen. And that's really the experience of it. And I know off of my first listen, at least, I did take heed of his advice. My roommate had just moved out the day before, so I had the room to myself. So I figured, what better to do than to listen to this album? So I did that, and it really felt like an experience. Like that first listen, like you can't really ever like remake that feeling that you get the first time you listen to an album. And I think Tyler did a really good job of creating a significant and very special first listen for his listeners.
Absolutely. On my first listen, I went for a walk, like he
Really?
suggested.
Uh-huh.
It was a beautiful day, 78 degrees, sun was shining, but it wasn't too hot.
Mm-hmm.
I just walked around my neighborhood with this blaring in my ears. I'm dancing and shit.
Oh yeah.
People looking out the windows like, who's this crackhead? And I'm like, I'm just going, I'm living.
Just doing
I'm
it.
living because Igor told me to.
Doing it. Igor did tell you to.
This shit was beautiful.
That's so. What I love about one of the things I love about this album is the name and the characterization of Igor. Like the fact that it seems like with each album, Tyler is continually reinventing himself.
Yeah.
Into these different personas, into these different characters, which each express a different part of Tyler the creator. You know what I mean? It's like Flower Boy is not Igor. Igor is not Flower Boy, but Igor is not Wolf and Flower Boy is not Wolf, and none of them are Bastard. And it's like, I feel like we're getting all these different perceptions of who Tyler is as a person.
Absolutely.
And musically, and it's all beautiful. And I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, and what I also love, what I've always loved about Tyler is that no matter what, he does not give a fuck what you think about his music. He uses his music as an outlet for him to say what he needs to.
Exactly.
And if you like it, good. If you don't, okay. Fuck you. You know? Just like, all right, basically. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And like, sorry for the numerous F-bombs I just threw out in a row. But he has always been so good at creating a feeling and an idea.
Yes.
Just like, and making you think. Just based off of everything that he has to say.
Mm-hmm. He really does a good job of doing that. But looking specifically at the songs, what was your favorite?
My favorites are, I mean, the obvious one that everyone loves is Earthquake.
Earthquake, that
Earthquake's great. I love I Think. Mm-hmm. I love Are We Still Friends?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
There's a few others that I was really... Puppet. Gone Gone, Thank You. Mm-hmm.
The
songs, A Boy Is a Gun. They're all so good.
A Boy Is a Gun is my personal favorite. And it really amazes me how Tyler manages to sing so well on his albums, knowing he doesn't have a voice.
No. He what's perfect about him, and it's evident throughout because he has Lil Uzi singing on the first track. And he knows that he's not a great singer, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's fair.
He knows that Lil Uzi is not a great singer, I'm assuming. And, like, he knows that in his ability, he can make them sound good.
Oh, yeah.
With his accompaniment.
Exactly.
He has one of the best ears for music in the business.
I remember his... following Flower Boy, he was in some interview I watched with him. He talked about how he specifically tailored Flower Boy to be kind of this thing where he's just sitting back and letting the music do the work, not really like putting too much of his voice in. I think
exactly what he
rapped on like 23% of Flower Boy and probably even less or close to that.
Way
on Igor.
less on Igor.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's crazy to me that this is the same guy that made Bastard. Like, the same guy.
And what's crazy is, like, you also feel that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he has done a good job in evolving his music to a point where it still almost feels the same. It obviously doesn't. Yeah. But you can still find that vibe if you're looking for it.
Yeah. Because I know listening to it off first listen, like, there were moments where I'm just like, this sounds like Flower Boy, or this sounds like Cherry Bomb, or this sounds like
I got a lot of Cherry Bomb.
I got a lot of Cherry Bomb too. Yeah. And I thought that was really, like, I didn't have any problem with it because
I didn't at all.
It's like this is his bass sounds, his bass flavor, and he's kind of like building this whole world off of it, and it can go so many different ways, and he's just seeing what happens.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Brilliant.
How do you think Igor stacks up against his other albums?
For me, I think this will get an Album of the Year nod.
It has to. It has to.
If we're going like just looking at the albums that have been released so far this year, I haven't looked deeply into the other genres, even though this doesn't even really have a genre. It's just kind of an album. It is almost perfect.
Yeah, it really is.
So it would be dumbfounding to me that last year he got his Rap Album of the Year nod. That means the Grammy, like their eyes are on him at least a little bit. Yeah. And to see this release, I think it's going to be positive.
And Flower Boy was such a huge... Like, he brought in a huge amount of new fans with Flower Boy. Like, a huge amount. Like, honestly, when did Flower Boy come out? 2017?
2017 in July or June. I can't remember.
I'll say, like, I had listened to Tyler before that. Like, I'd listened to Cherry Bomb and Wolf and all that. But, like, I didn't really start to stan Tyler until Flower Boy came out. When I was like, hold the fuck.
Hold the phone.
Hold the
this
phone.
Guy just fucking did it.
I was just like, sounds like we literally heard him mature like over the years,
and it's been amazing.
It's crazy, yeah, and it's been a really like cool thing to look at. Looking at another artist who is in a different part of his career trajectory, but still, like
The same
maturing.
vibe.
It seems, yeah, definitely the same vibe. There's Steve Lacy.
Steve Lacy.
Yep,
Holy shit, Steve Lacy.
that guy. Yeah.
He is my new father.
He's probably not even old. He might be younger than you.
He might be.
Honestly.
And like this dude with Apollo 21, his debut album. Holy fuck.
Incredible. Just fucking incredible.
We are fresh off our first listen.
We are.
We just listened to this on a car ride for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it is remarkable.
Just amazing. And
yeah, go ahead.
It's like listening to his older hits, Dark Red. You've got Ride. You've got like See You Girl.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
of. Like all of these different songs have a very specific palette, have a very specific sound, and we could tell from Steve Lacy's work with the internet generally what type of artist he would be. But when it came to his debut album, this dude just fucking like let it explode.
He snapped.
And he just grabbed it and was like, yes, this is what I'm about.
The whole vibe, just everything. He had his strings, his voice. His voice?
My God. Jesus
What's
Christ.
crazy is like this man, for me, on several different points, it reminded me if you were to mix Jimi Hendrix and the fucking Steve Miller Band. Are you kidding me? What is that? What combination is that? It's the 70s.
Yeah,
it is the 70s personified.
It is, really. And, like, you could, even from the album art and just the general aesthetic of the album, like, it was very 70s-esque, which is an interesting pick for Lacy because we talk about it and he talks about it as if he lived through it.
Exactly.
But, like,
we don't know.
Our parents.
We weren't there.
My mom was born in 77.
So was my dad.
Yeah, that's dope. But, like, it's like, this is not an era that we are really familiar with.
This dude is 21.
He captures the feeling of it so well.
So accurately.
Like,
the music of the 70s, anyway, that I've heard, this is it.
Oh, yeah. And it's a very modern and...
It's a modern take on what the 70s would be.
Yeah, it really is. And I think he did a beautiful job of letting the music do its work. And, like... He had that 1 8-minute track that we were like, at first we were just like,
okay, this is kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
Because it's 8 minutes and the first 4 are the same song, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's pretty repetitive. Then it switches, and you're like, oh yeah, I like this. Then it switches, and you're like, okay, yeah. All right. And then it switches again, and you're like, holy shit, just like, he did it. He did it.
Like it's so good. It's kind of remarkable to me how he's like able to have so many different sounds that he puts in these songs that are just like catchy and rhythmic and different. Yeah,
they're catchy and rhythmic.
Yeah,
but they're unlike most things I've ever heard.
They are very unlike most things, and it's kind of crazy. Like Lacy, like I think we should be very excited for the future of Steve Lacy.
I agree completely.
I could see him having a huge upwards trajectory if he keeps making music of this quality, of this nature, because like it hasn't been done before.
Oh no, it hasn't. Not recently.
Yeah,
the 70s, yeah.
The 70s, yeah. But like I can't think of any artist right now who's doing this, who can sing, who can play the guitar, who can make beats on their iPod that are better than most of these producers' beats. Like
the only person I could think of who we even like kind of talked about earlier was Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah.
He can sing his ass off and he can wail on that guitar.
I need Gary Clark Jr. to get on a song with Steve Lacy.
Oh, we were talking about that Awaken My Love, Childish Gambino.
Oh, yes.
Awaken My Love, Childish Gambino and Steve Lacy teaming up. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have to think that'd be perfect.
It would be. It would have to be.
So, favorite song?
Favorite song?
On first listen, what was your favorite?
So there was. Let me look at the list of songs actually.
Oh.
So Hate CD was a good one. Also, Amandala's, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Amandala's Interlude.
Amandala's Interlude, that was good. In Lust We Trust. Really, like, so...
The back half.
The back half was amazing. Like, every song, like, it would just play, and I'd be like, all right, that's it.
That's my new favorite.
Yeah, that's my new favorite. And then the next one would play, and I'm like, nah, this one isn't. Nah, this one is. I couldn't decide. It's going to take me quite a few listens to really decide, but off top, those three are probably the contenders.
I have to agree. I think my favorites off first listen were Lay Me Down, Hate CD, and Amandala's Interlude.
Which I never really like interludes. I see interlude and I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be a boring one-off. Like
Amandala's Interlude does not have any words. It is entirely production.
No,
there's a violin and a guitar, and that's it. That's what it sounds like. Is it? I don't know, but it is beautiful.
So good. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that he's able to like. He's showing a lot of maturity. It seems like in his musical like creation process.
I agree.
And like
completely.
his product, it sounds very intentional and mature, which is really good for the 21-year-old Steve Lacy.
Absolutely. Also on this car ride, we listened to For Real by YG.
Yeah.
This shit might have been the funniest album I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, no.
Some of the bars are hilarious.
It's just so funny, like cheeky and just like. It's what's more funny is the fact that it seems like YG is saying a lot of it unironically.
Oh yeah. But let's look at the real aspects of it first. It was a tribute to Nipsey Hussle. Yep. Says it on the cover.
Yeah. And
the songs that he would slow it down and get real deep with it. Those were good songs, like Hard Bottom, White Socks.
Oh, yep. That was a perfect one. That was the intro song, right?
Yeah, Hard Bottoms and White Socks. That might have been my favorite song on the entire
album.
Oh,
yeah, no, it's definitely up there for me. And when I listen to it, when I think of a YG album at least, I think of his hits, you know, he has Too Cocky, Handgun, like, you know, all those West Side, like, songs that he's on, but they all, like, are very... West Coast and bouncy and like hard and it really reflects kind of like that culture. But when he decided to slow it down, it just
and it still had that West Coast YG vibe.
It still did, but he did it so well and like it felt so pure and like genuine that I could not like it. You know what I mean? It was kind of remarkable how he did that.
Yeah, I liked the album was so. Like, I don't want to say up and down because it wasn't. It flowed very well. Yeah. But there were so many songs that like were completely different.
Oh yeah.
Than what he was doing in other songs, you know?
Yeah.
Like he had Go Loco with Tyga.
Go Loco, yeah.
with Tyga and John Z, which was just that's clearly a club hit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It feels like that's what's gonna be. And then he's got songs like Keisha Had a Baby.
That was
Keisha Had a Baby was amazing.
Yeah.
Just because it felt like the entire story of this girl, Keisha's life. He was like, at the very beginning, he was like, yeah, you know, we all know a Keisha. If you don't, listen to this.
Yeah, he was kind of cool.
And then you listen to it and you're like, yeah, we do all know a Keisha.
We do all know a Keisha. I definitely know a Keisha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, but YG really, like, I think he's continually stepping up with each album that he makes and proving that he can be, like, you know, he talks on the first track about being the face of the West Coast. He's the face of it. He repeats it. I'm the face of it. And I don't know if I believe all that quite yet.
Yeah, you know Kendrick. Kendrick's the face.
Kendrick, Snoop's still
alive. But YG, currently,
Dre, and like
in the game currently, Kendrick's the face. There's still Snoop. There's still Dre.
Yeah.
There's still Ice Cube.
Yeah,
like I mean, like you could get there.
And he's
on his way.
YG is super young too. Like he's not. He's put out what 2 or 3, maybe 4 albums.
Here, I'll check it out real quick. I'll check his discography.
Okay.
For actual albums he's dropped. He's got My Crazy Life, Still Brazy, and Stay Dangerous.
Yeah, and I think each one of those progressively just gets better and better and
he
better.
Does.
And that's really that says something about where he'll be in the next 5-10 years.
I think he's definitely on his path to becoming the face.
And that's just kind of the nature of the West Coast, I think, in general. Is you kind of you either got to do some crazy musical, like crazy numbers or something, or you have to be a mainstay for a long time to get that sort of credibility where people like not
Nipsey
that people.
had.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Nipsey was long-standing.
Nipsey was one of those who never really had the crazy numbers, like the album numbers or anything.
He had
like
that credibility though.
But if you knew West Coast rap, you knew Nipsey. Yeah, and like that's kind of a place that I can see YG stepping in, sort of.
And I'd argue he's already kind of there.
Oh yeah,
with the West Coast credibility, he doesn't have the commercial numbers, obviously. Besides, fuck Donald Trump.
He had a song with Drake.
He had a few. Yeah, he has a few commercial songs. My Hitta.
Yeah.
Just so many great songs he's had throughout the course of his career that have gone commercial, and I think he's only got upward to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that on his albums, he's not letting that kind of cloud his thinking. He's not focused on making these radio hits or trying to get his name out there.
He's staying true to YG.
Yes, he's making YG's music because that's what YG does.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sticking with the West Coast.
Yeah.
Well, cruise down to Crash Talk. Schoolboy Q.
Crash Talk. Yeah. Crash Talk. This was it felt a lot like a redemption album for Schoolboy Q. I don't necessarily feel that way, but it seems like Schoolboy Q really took this album and wanted to redeem himself coming off of Blank Face, because if you know or if you don't, Blank Face, which came out summer of 2016. I bumped that shit all summer. I don't know.
Oh, so did I, dude.
That was my
Blank Face
album.
Was
Holy
unbelievable.
Shit, it was so good. And it got the critical reception that it deserved, but it didn't get necessarily the commercial reception that Schoolboy Q would have liked.
Yeah. That part was good as fuck. That got the commercial success.
That part it did. But that was also because Kanye was on there too, so I guess they kind of knew that would happen.
Yeah.
But because it didn't get the commercial success, Schoolboy Q was kind of left wondering, like, well, what the hell? Like, what
do I need to do?
Yeah.
And this time, you can tell he was going more for that.
Oh, yeah.
He was going more for a commercial.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And got chopsticks.
Chopsticks, yeah. I don't particularly love chopsticks.
I don't either, but it's definitely the commercial.
It definitely is. He's got the tie-dye. He's got the black song, Drunk. That's actually fire.
Yes.
And then he has the song after that with Ty Dolla and what's the name of that one?
Lies with YG.
Yeah, Lies with YG and Ty Dolla. I don't particularly love that song. It's very poppy, but it's a good poppy song. You know what I mean? For someone like Schoolboy Q to make, like, it makes sense.
My favorites were probably Floating and Dangerous.
Floating and Dangerous. Yes, Dangerous. That was
Dangerous. Anything with Kid Cudi, man.
As soon as I saw Kid Cudi, I was
that was the first song I listened to. Usually I listen to albums in order. Like, because that's what the artist wants you to do. They put it there for a reason like that. But I saw a featuring Kid Cudi, and I'm like, man, all right, I click on that first.
Yeah, no, that thing was definitely an experience. You need to add that to your playlist that you're making right now.
Actually. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I actually really loved a lot of them. Like, Gang Gang was a good intro. Tales was very, like, it was one of those, like, real deep tracks I expect. Num Num Juice, of course. Hard as shit. Like, if you don't fuck with Num Num Juice, then, like, I don't really know about you as a person. 5200 Black Folk, Floating Dangerous, Die With Him I don't like as much, but Crash was definitely one of my favorites on the album.
With Water, Baby.
Water was hard. Like,
these features he got in, he knew he was going to get that commercial success this time.
But I think he did a good job of not alienating his core fan base.
Oh no, he didn't at all.
Yeah, because it still felt like a Schoolboy Q album, but it felt like one that you could introduce to your friends who don't know Schoolboy Q.
And they're going to be like,
rap.
Yeah.
They're going to be like,
damn, this shit go.
Exactly, which there's something to be said about having that sort of accessibility with your music, because it allows you to grow your fan base and for people to get into something that maybe they wouldn't have gotten into if you were going like hard like you were on Blank Face. But,
exactly.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna make more Blank Faces, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, Schoolboy, if you ever listen to this, which I don't think you will, please make more Blank Face.
Please. Yeah, no, that album was fire. So, let's pivot a little bit here to,
away from the R&B rap scene.
Yep, and let's go to the pop scene.
Hello, Billie Eilish.
Billie fucking Eilish.
She proposes a great question. When we fall asleep, where do we go? You know, because we don't know. Presumably, we stay in the same spot.
I would argue that this is the realm of the metaphysical.
Yeah.
Where when we fall asleep, like, think about it. It's still 100% physical, but we are witnessing a reality in the method of dreams.
It's remarkable.
It's
a whole different topic.
That's a whole different topic.
I mainly posed that question as a joke, but I'm glad we can dive into it.
Okay, but this album,
I liked it.
It slapped. Like,
it slapped.
There's just no
I
other.
mean, I pre-ordered this on vinyl, and I was just like, I was taking a risk too because I fucked with Billie Eilish in the past, but she also had gone on record and saying this was going to be different.
Yeah. How old is Billie Eilish?
17.
So if someone told me 5 years ago that I'd be listening to an album from a
17-year-old girl
that's
bopping that's
shit, punk, that's like punk, pop, trap,
alternative,
all
of the above, I'd be like, huh, you fucking liar.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, this doesn't, one, it doesn't sound like something I'm interested in. Two, it doesn't sound like something that's good. Three, it doesn't sound like something that's possible. But she did it. And that album, when it first dropped, I remember hearing the drop on the very first song. Shoot, what is it?
The very first song is just a bunch of exclamation points.
Okay. Well, actually, I think I'm talking about Bad Guy. Bad Guy. That one, like,
where she does that shit where she has her voice shaking like that.
Yes, yeah, and she does it throughout the album. Like
it's beautiful.
The soundscapes that she's using were so deep and dark and just like guttural. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard anything like that on a song.
I can say for sure. What's funny, actually, going back to someone we talked about earlier, it reminds me of if early Tyler the Creator was an angsty teenage girl.
Wow, that really excites me for what Billie Eilish can do in the future.
Exactly, because and what's awesome is like her shit sounds like a horror movie.
It does, yeah.
But like to her, she's gone on record and saying that like that's not what she's like. Mm-hmm. Not. It's just art. Like that's just what she feels she wanted to make. You know
exactly.
And like that's the same as Tyler. He wasn't exactly being like. He knew what it was. He knew this shit was scary.
Oh, yeah. And
he was like, this is just what I want to do. You know?
Right.
Fuck what you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I would argue that Billie Eilish is probably doing it better than Tyler was when he first started. Not that he was doing it bad.
Oh, no.
She has
a commercial stand following.
Yeah.
And Tyler's following at the beginning was very specific.
Underground.
Very underground specific LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then it grew to underground nationwide skater culture.
Yeah.
And then it blew up.
It just blew. Like, it just blew. But, like, Billie Eilish doesn't even have to go through that because she started with Ocean Eyes, which is so different than this album.
So different.
And, like, she has some songs that are kind of like that, but, like, and, like, you can tell that that's a part of just her musical style in general.
Yeah.
But still, like, I just did not expect her to just have that versatility. This young as an artist to be able to make
it's pretty amazing
a trap banger and then be able to make like this like crooning like soft song like that you'd hear from T Swift maybe it's like what can't you do
exactly
know? Like it's kind of crazy to me
right now. I don't know if they can hear it because I'm not listening, but the song playing in the background right here is "Wish You Were Gay" by Billie Eilish. And I don't know that I've ever liked a song more than I like this song, dude. This song so fucking knocks. Yeah. It is beautiful. Everything, just her voice, perfect. The beat, the production, perfect.
No, when you listen to this album, if you listen to it with one headphone in, then you are just doing yourself a disservice.
You are doing yourself a massive disservice.
You need to put everything in. Block out everything else.
You need
turn
to
it all the way
listen to this album.
Listen, and like, I feel like I literally feel this album, like feel it, like when it like vibrates and shit, and it just sounds so pleasant.
Perfect.
I don't know how else to explain it. It's just good. Like, and this is her debut album too. Like, this isn't even like...
Dude, the future of music is fucking set.
Yes, exactly.
Steve Lacy on this list. We got Billie Eilish on this list. We got Khalid on this list.
Yep.
All of them are 21 and under.
Yep. Even Kevin Abstract.
Kevin
Let's talk
Abstract.
about Kevin Abstract's album.
Kevin Abstract.
So
with Arizona Baby, right?
Arizona Baby. Yeah, this was a kind of I wouldn't say unexpected release, but nobody coming into 2019, nobody was really waiting on a Kevin Abstract album. Not that we wouldn't listen when it did, but he just kind of decided he's gonna drop his album. So he dropped I think he dropped 2 different EPs actually before that he's since removed from streaming services.
Yeah.
That had songs from Arizona Baby on it, but then he dropped Arizona Baby, and you know, I probably would have missed it if Peach had not popped up on my Twitter one day. Peach.
Let's talk about Peach.
Yes.
The song of the fucking year, dude.
Yes. No. It is a contender for sure, and if it's not, then somebody made a huge mistake.
It is just the vibe and the feeling you get listening to that. It's just so happy.
It's incredible.
It's free flowing. It is everything you want in life in a song.
Oh yeah, no, really. It felt like a song that like just dug into the depths of my childhood music taste and just like combined it with everything I've learned growing up, and it just
happened.
Yeah, it happened.
Peach.
And it felt like it should have happened a decade ago.
Yeah, exactly. But it felt like that.
It was like that type of good to where I listened to it and I'm like, this sounds like a classic. And
it did.
I don't say that often about most music. Most music, I'm like, I concede the fact that it takes a while before you can determine whether or not something is a classic. But this song in particular is a Kevin Abstract classic.
Oh, immediately classic.
Yeah, and he did it. I don't really even know how he did it actually. Like, so unexpected.
Another pretty awesome thing about that song in particular is there is a lot of help from the members of Brockhampton.
Mm-hmm.
This song very easily could have been a Brockhampton song.
Oh, it could have, yeah.
And the fact that all those dudes were willing to be like, you know what, this is your song.
Exactly.
You did this.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome.
Do you see any differences in the music that he was making on his first album? What was it? Suburban...
American Boyfriend.
Oh, American Boyfriend. Like difference between American Boyfriend music and this one?
I do. I think they're very different albums.
I do too.
I think American Boyfriend is much more ingrained in this in the pop genre.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And for Arizona Baby, he did not do anything to limit himself to the pop genre. He did hip hop, alternative, and pop.
It seems that's a growing trend in music.
It's
this
just to branch
genre
out.
binding, blending sort of thing that people are doing.
It's something we've talked about already a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. Which is I am excited to see what this turns into, because I'm very tired of people like categorizing songs religiously and music and artists in general and being like, no, this is your box. This is the box that you work within.
Yeah. When
fundamentally music is like supposed to transcend these boxes.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't create music without blending genres, and when people recognize that, then like that's just like when I think people will start to really learn about what music should be.
Yeah,
which is
you open new doors in your mind.
Oh yeah.
When you listen to this music and it's all just it's something greater than yourself or than any one thing. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's just this grand idea. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something beautiful about the music that we've been getting a lot lately.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. So even on Khalid's album, Free Spirit, that dropped this year.
Free Spirit was definitely pop R&B.
Yeah. But that's Khalid's lane. Like that's what he does. Like,
and he does it well.
Yeah, he does.
He is the face of a generation, arguably.
Oh yeah, no, that's
when
that's
he
fair.
When he dropped American Teen, there's not a high school student alive who couldn't go, yep, I know what that is. I know what this is. I know what this is.
Yep.
Because he made that the most relatable.
Location was a
location
hit.
Baby.
Holy, that wasn't even my favorite song from that album though. Like,
oh no,
Location was just the most popular one. But like, my favorite had to probably be Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Young, Dumb, and Broke was great.
Young, Dumb, and Broke was.
If I'm gonna pick a favorite, I think I'm gonna go with one of the lesser known ones. I'm gonna go with Keep Me, which was a very, very. It felt different than the rest of the album, American Teen. But this isn't about American Teen. let's go into Free Spirit. Free Spirit, he continues what he did with American Teen, and did it even better. I think. I think this will end up. I think American Teen will be a classic for its nostalgic value. Mm-hmm. I think if you want to go from a pure talent and ability perspective, Free Spirit's a better album.
Oh yeah, and you even got to think about it. Like, he was making a lot of these songs from on American Teen, like
when he was 17.
He was 17 in high school. Like, he wasn't really doing a ton of extravagant shit. But then he dropped that album, blew up, and was given just, I'm sure, plenty of resources to make Free Spirit. And I think he did a good job of doing what artists should do best, which is creating a feeling, a holistic feeling.
Yeah.
With this album, with this project, from everything from the cover art to the last song.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like a journey and experience that you feel like you go on, where you're like listening to these songs, and it's just like every one you're like,
everything just feels like, this feels like summer break movie montage. Yeah, exactly. That's what everything he does feels like.
That's what makes you want to go back to it, because you listen to Better, Bad Luck, or Talk, and these songs on
they transport you to a different place.
Yeah, they really do. They're so good. And I wasn't even into, like, I am almost religiously against pop music, really, and just like this this mainstream shit. But like,
I'm against the idea of feeding into pop music because you know that's what will give you success. If that's what you're making, and you're making pop, and that's what you love doing, and you're good at it, fucking do it. You know, keep doing that shit.
And it's like, Khalid does it, but he doesn't stay stagnant with what he does. Like, he continues like evolving, making better versions of this like pop style, of this pop genre.
Exactly.
Because I don't feel like pop has really seen any like massive change as of this decade.
Oh yeah, I mean, and 2010 to 2019, I'd argue that we have not changed a lot.
Yeah.
It has definitely been focused and rooted in this like an undertone of hip hop culture, but it's pop. You know, that's what it is. Like, you can see it when it's. I wouldn't say this like started anything, but what first comes to mind for me as early as Dynamite by Tayo Cruz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that was that time.
That's what pop is like.
Now that was in 2010, I think, when that came out, and it's like I go back and listen to those songs, and like they have that nostalgic value, because that's what I was listening to as a kid, because I was listening to radio.
2009.
2009?
10 years ago!
Oh, man.
What the hell?
We're getting old.
Fuck that.
What's Tayo Cruz doing now?
Nothing. Tayo Cruz, you're okay, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're doing fine. Dynamite paid
You
off.
might be listening to this.
But, seriously, that is what pop music has...
Yeah.
It seems like it stayed in that place for a long time. Mm-hmm. And Khalid... Artists like Khalid and Ariana Grande and Billie Eilish, they do this thing where they take the roots of pop and they change it.
Yeah.
A little bit. Enough to make, like, specifically with Ariana Grande, a little bit to make it enough. Yeah. I think Khalid has enough R&B and soul in him to make it a lot more different. Billie Eilish, like we said, is all over the place. Yeah. But with Free Spirit, he really did it, I think. He, one of my favorite songs on that is 21.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, a lot of his songs are fucking sad.
Oh, no, they are all
what I don't think he's consciously doing, but what I've always perceived about his music is that it's like that smile. A hiding smile. Like a smile that's hiding everything that you're actually feeling. Yeah. Because a lot of his stuff is real upbeat and fun, and you're like, yeah, we can do this. This sounds like it's a lot of fun. Then you listen to the lyrics, and you're like, damn,
wow,
this does not
really
feel good.
Talking about some stuff that
like in 21, he's like, I think it's 21. He talks about how he just says, you just turned 21. So lately you've been drinking, wasted on alcohol, you chased a fight this feeling, thinking about letting go, would that be easy for you then?
Jeez.
And it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like everything, and like people are going to listen and be like, you've been drinking, wasted on
Yeah.
alcohol. They're like, yeah, he's talking about drinking and having fun.
Yeah, having
no, he's
fun.
not.
He's talking
about drinking, getting drunk to mask pain.
Exactly.
And that's sad.
That is very sad. And like a lot of his music is about relationships that failed, aspects of relationships that failed, and just like this general sense of depression that I think
an entire generation is kind of like
and
can like kind of understand.
Yeah,
which is sad. It's inherently sad.
Yeah, it is. But that's a different
It's a different conversation, which I'm sure at some point we'll discuss.
Yeah, I'm sure that sounds like fun.
We can dive into some deeper aspects in pop culture. Then like the chorus of this is like, damn, 'cause you're in pain, but who's to blame? All our lives, it never ends.
And see, honestly, I feel like that it's important that these sorts of lyrics are coming from a Khalid, though, because he is, like you said, the face of a new generation.
Yeah,
in a
people
sense,
will
and, like,
listen to him.
These things that he's saying, he's not saying them because like he just wants to say them. Like he knows that they resonate with people of his age,
exactly,
with people of like his peers, and like that's a common feeling that people have.
Exactly,
which may be a problem. But the music is just where he's expressing himself. And
exactly.
Like, the fact that this is his expression means something.
This is a really good aspect of what he's talking about, and what he does with a lot of songs is even though they are sad through and through, by the end, he kind of reaches this hopefulness.
Yeah.
Because, like, going back to this 21 song, the end is because I'm in pain, but I'm to blame. To end this fight, I have to change. So he's like, if I'm consciously aware of what I'm doing, drinking to mask this pain, I'm only going to keep feeling this pain because I'll sober up and it'll still suck.
It'll still suck, yeah.
So I have to change. And I think that's cool, like, because, again, he's speaking to a generation that will listen to it.
Yeah,
and that it'll resonate with them.
Which is very important as an artist to be able to know, like, who you're talking to with these albums and what, like, be conscious of what you're saying and that it has meaning in the grander scheme of things, which is, I think, a way that Khalid and Billie Eilish are changing the pop genre because they're talking about very almost, like, not even almost, just depressing shit.
Yeah, they're diving into this shit that needs to be talked about.
And it's like, Tyler Cruz's Dynamite was a bop or whatever, but, like, what is that saying about, like...
It's talking about how, I was gonna try. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know how. I was interested to hear what you did.
I was gonna make a completely just blatantly wrong statement, but it's fine. We'll move on.
Yeah. Okay. So this kind of flows well into this new Logic run that we've had recently.
It's interesting. Logic is a very up and down artist for me.
Very.
I love his early work. I love everything he did as young Sinatra.
He had the potential to be like my favorite artist. Like following,
he did.
Like
after
The Incredible True Story.
The Incredible True Story. Yeah. That's when I was like, dude, this Logic guy. I think this is it.
Yeah.
I think, and then everybody, great message.
Flop.
He's saying a lot. He's saying a lot of good things.
He is.
But damn, man, that album has not aged well.
I can't even like. I think about going back and listening to it, but then like
I don't want to.
I'm just like, what's the point? Like,
what's the point? What has it come to?
Like, the music on there seemed so, just like very like it didn't seem like he thought deeper than the words there on that album, and like it sounded like he picked the first 12 beats he heard. And like,
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
The beats were bad. Like, I don't know what Six was doing, but that was not Six's. Especially coming off like The Incredible True Story, where the beats were the high point of that album. That was like Six was doing his shit there, but then everybody else just like, this sounds bad.
And I feel bad because I know because I follow Logic very closely. I like what he's doing. I like his idea.
I do too.
I know he put a lot of effort into that album. Like, that album was supposed to be something big.
It was.
It was supposed to be a moment, and it was not.
It was not. No.
I mean, 1-800-273-8255.
Yeah.
That is by far the best song that will. It's going to be the biggest song that ever comes of Logic's career.
Yeah.
With good reason.
Yeah, with good reason.
And it's a great song. And I'm hoping that's going to be his legacy. I hope his legacy isn't, Jesus Christ, dude, shut the fuck up about being biracial.
Yeah, but he's really leading himself down that path, isn't he? Like
a little bit.
I just like, I get it. It's important to you, but we get it. It's important to you.
Exactly.
Like, you don't have to like bring it up every other song we hear from you just because it's important. And I don't know. It's really weird. I think he thinks I don't know what he thinks actually. Like it. So following everybody, Young Sinatra 4 came out last year. Yeah. At the end of last year.
We've gotten a good saturation of music.
Oh yeah.
From Logic.
Young
Bobby
Sinatra
Tarantino
4,
2. Bobby Tarantino. Supermarket, and Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah.
All within the last year.
Yeah. He's been putting out a lot of music, which he normally doesn't do. Like before that, he was doing consistently. A
project a year, and he was this artist who was kind of elusive in the fact that he was like, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing this because I want to do this next, and I'm doing this because I want to do this next.
Yeah.
And now he's definitely straying away from that. It's like, I'm a creative. I'm doing this, and guess what? You're gonna fucking get
it. Yeah.
You can listen to this.
I don't. Either way, I don't really have a huge argument because I do like the fact that he's giving us so much music, but at the same time, I didn't have a problem with yearly projects because
I don't either.
That's even more regular than most artists do.
Exactly.
Like most artists don't get out a project a year.
Or the best artists don't get out a project a year.
Exactly. And it starting with Young Sinatra 4, first listening through that, it seemed like he was trying to go back to his
roots. What he started as when he was Young Sinatra.
Which was fine, but it felt like he was just trying to get back to his roots.
Actually, if we're going to get down to it, of Young Sinatra 4, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, and Supermarket, I think Young Sinatra 4 might be my favorite.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so,
I think that shit really went.
So the reason I think that, though, which is also kind of a reason that I dislike it, which is weird, but you can tell the influence that J. Cole's had in his career.
Big time. This was huge. Entirely
and
a J. Cole
on
influence.
Young Sinatra 4, he had multiple different beats and parts of J. Cole, like old J. Cole mixtape beats that he would redo on that album, and he would say lines from Friday Night Lights and the warm up and stuff like that, which is fine. He's showing like homage or whatever, but it felt like he was trying to. I don't know what it is about the way that he just like goes at things, but
I agree.
It just seems so.
It seems. What sucks is I was about to say the same thing. It's like, I want to believe this dude is this great dude who believes all this and I do believe he believes all the stuff he believes. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
It's really not difficult to believe people should be equal.
It's not.
Let's get down to it. If you don't, fuck yourself. But he just. It almost seems like everything he says comes from a place that's like holier than thou.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And I don't know why I get that feeling.
I don't know.
And I don't want to be putting this message out there that that's what he feels like that's what he is about. But that's just what it feels like to me.
It is, yeah. It really, it's hard for him to kind of break out of that. But I think when Supermarket came out,
I fucked with Supermarket.
I thought that was a really good release because it kind of allowed him to spread his wings musically and not kind of be like, oh, why aren't you rapping like you did on the mixtapes?
He's saying
why aren't you doing this? He's just like, no, this is a soundtrack for this book that I wrote. One
that book is fucking great. Have you read that yet?
I haven't gotten to read it yet, but I have read a lot of analysis and stuff about it, and it looks amazing.
It's it's like modern day Fight Club for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really, and I think it's cool that as a rapper he wrote a book and it's a New York Times bestseller.
And it was a bestseller.
And he put out an album to accompany it, which is I don't know if y'all read books. Hopefully you do, but if you read books, then you know that every book you read has a feeling to it.
Yeah, and if you can match that feeling into music, I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, which I thought was super cool, innovative, new, nothing something that I don't think anybody's ever really done that. Put out
an album to go with a book.
An album to accompany a book, and much less, like, not many rappers are writing novels.
Exactly. This was a genuine novel. It was characters he created. It was an entire story that he came up with. Yeah. Which is remarkable, because the story is really cool.
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot. But the Supermarket album, I thought it was great. Yeah. I loved it. I loved every... I think I loved every song. Like, I was 100% down for everything he did with that. Just because it was different than what he was... He didn't lock himself in this room. Yeah. You know, he didn't lock himself like, in the rap. Yeah. Like we were just... Like we've talked about all day. He didn't lock himself in. Yeah. He did this shit where he wanted... Like, that he wanted to. I think it helped that it was, like, largely about something that was... Not about him being biracial. Yeah. It was about fake people that he created.
That definitely helped.
And it paid off. I think it went really well for him.
Yeah, I think so too. But after that, a few weeks later, actually,
Confessions of a Dangerous
Mind came out.
I haven't given this a good enough listen to really speak on it. But that's just because I don't really want to. And I hate that I've gotten there, but like I just don't really want to.
So this is the problem with saturating his listeners. Is like it's kind of like, God damn it, another album,
like,
bro.
Dude, I'm listening. I hear you.
I know, and so for one, I really like the album art.
Dude, the album art.
I'll
get into this after we're done with all the albums, but the album art of 2019 has been fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
Just truly everything is. Almost every project has had beautiful artwork.
Oh yeah, it really has. But this album specifically, he had the hit with the Homicide
with Eminem and Crystalia.
Yeah, that was a really good song, and I think he got like
so many napkins.
I think a lot of the song, like I think some of the songs on Confessions of a Dangerous Mind were a Logic that we haven't heard in a long time. Yeah, it was really really good, and it wasn't necessarily like something that we felt he'd done before. But at the same time, there were some really bad songs on this album.
There's not a lot.
Clickbait, Wannabe, like Out of Sight, Pardon My Ego. Those were terrible.
I liked the songs he had features on. I liked.
Yeah,
I liked Commando with G-Eazy. Still Ballin' with Wiz. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Icy with Gucci Mane, but it was better than some of the other ones. Yeah. I think his best solo song on this album, I think, is Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah, I think so too. Either that or the intro song, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind was really good.
See, those were all good, but it's like, it.
And actually, the album, the idea of it, the Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, ties in really well with that book.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that intentional? Do you think?
I think it kind of had to be. Yeah. Like I think he was going down this path. Of like the Dangerous Mind, and I don't want to spoil the book for you, so like I can't. But like, I can't really get into it. But yeah, the Dangerous Mind thing plays in.
Okay.
Very well.
So what's weird about this album for me is that it wasn't a moment at all. Like it just kind of came out.
And that's because he's been saturating us with music.
Yeah, and I really wish that he'd waited a bit, maybe worked on these songs a bit more.
Yeah.
And really did something like later on this year at the earliest.
Yeah, like fall.
Yeah, he didn't need to do anything else right now. Like I don't understand why he did.
Yeah, I mean when he dropped Young Sinatra 4, I was like, damn, that was quick because it was a quick turnaround from Bobby Tarantino 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't that quick of a turnaround either. Wasn't. It was like a year.
Yeah.
It was a little less than a year, I think. And I was like, damn, that was a quick turnaround for Logic. Yeah. Then he was like, Supermarket. I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. And I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I was just like, chill. I was like, you got enough Logic right now.
Cool. Chill.
Yeah, I think Logic has done a lot wrong in his career so far, but
I think he's done enough right.
He's done enough right. Yeah. Because he still is, to me, one of the premier rappers out right now. Like,
and his skill level, dude, this man
level
can
is
rap.
Still there. Like,
and he can sing. Supermarket was good.
Oh yeah,
because he could sing.
Was good. Yeah.
And what's remarkable is that he never showed that off.
Oh no,
he rapped and he rapped and he rapped, and like, I went and saw him in concert, and he performed a song for us where he was at a piano, and he sang, and we were like, oh damn, this guy can do that. And then that song was on Supermarket.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What song was it? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I would have to go back and.
I wish I went to that concert. I was
Joey Badass opened for him, and oh boy, damn. Joey Badass.
Joey Badass, that's my guy. He needs to drop a new album. His album came out it's about time, 2017.
He was on Beast Coast. It just came out.
Beast Coast, yeah, I need it.
I know you haven't really given that a good listen, but I gave it a pretty good listen, and it is an East Coast dream.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, Flatbush Zombies, Joey Badass, the Underachievers.
That's what the East Coast is known for. That's what Wu-Tang did.
That's what Wu-Tang created that.
Yeah, Wu-Tang really did create it. Like the posse cuts, like that was a New York thing. Like that's what they did. Like if you go back and listen to like some old like 80s, 90s rap tracks, it won't be hard to find like these posse cuts where it's just
everybody's
dude after dude
together,
just going in like on the same, like just going in. Like it's if you know One Train, it's a lot like that kind of mode. And I remember when A$AP Rocky made One Train, he said that he did it the way that he did as a posse cut because he didn't feel like there was enough of that.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to kind of bring that back, and that's kind of what A$AP Mob.
That's what A$AP Mob has kind of started doing
that again too, and like that's I think that's really cool, and it's really important that that's happening in New York specifically.
New York specifically for that culture, that's rooted in their culture because of Wu-Tang, and I think it is perfect that it's coming back around with A$AP Mob. And now Beast Coast.
And if you look at like what New York rap originated from, it was like this battle rap.
It's the birth of hip hop.
It is the birth of hip hop. It's just dudes getting on the mic
from the Bronx and Brooklyn and
going
Staten Island.
Yeah,
that's old school by Tupac.
Yeah, you get on the mic and you go in. Like that's what you do. Like there's no more thought than that needed. Like say your shit.
They fucking do it, dude.
They do it. Yeah.
And what's funny is when now we're gonna stray away because I think we've. Oh wait, let's dive into Ventura with Anderson .Paak.
Okay, so this kind of parallels with Logic. So he released Oxnard
in the fall of last year.
In the fall of last year, and he followed up with Ventura in April, which was a
very quick turnaround
for Anderson .Paak. Like
absolutely,
the time between his last album and Malibu and Oxnard, Malibu. Yeah. There was a couple years between Malibu and Oxnard.
Yeah.
But the problem with that was kind of similar to Schoolboy Q's because like listening through Oxnard, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was that, you know.
It wasn't Malibu.
Exactly. And
I don't think Ventura was Malibu either.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But Anderson .Paak knew that, so he followed up very quickly with Ventura.
Because when I say it wasn't Malibu, Oxnard was completely different from Malibu.
Oh,
it was not the same style. He wasn't singing as much. He was rapping.
Yeah.
It was Anderson .Paak on the spin.
Yeah.
And I think he did well. I think he's a really good rapper, but that's not what I mean, I'm cool with him doing that. I think it's good.
Yeah.
But what I want out of Anderson .Paak is that jazzy funk and just like, oh yeah, you really did that shit, bro.
And Ventura, I think he really tried to
he got back into that.
Get back into it, but to innovate it, make it like new, make it to show like the progress that he's made as an artist over these years. Because Ventura was his redemption tour. Like this dude knew what the fuck he was doing on Ventura.
Absolutely.
And from the first song, Come Home with Andre 3 Stacks.
Andre 3000, baby.
Oh my god.
I mean, the features he had on Ventura. Andre 3000, Smokey Robinson, Lala, Jasmine Sullivan, Sonya Elise, and Nate Dogg. You got Nate Dogg?
Like these aren't like
he's dead.
These are like he is like
rest in peace, Nate Dogg. I don't mean any disrespect.
He is in his bag.
He's in his bag like the fries at the bottom.
He really is. Like Ventura was out. It really satisfied me. I thought it was a really good jazz funk fusion album.
It really was.
That really is what
Brandy. I didn't even say Brandy.
Yeah. It's what Anderson .Paak does. Like I still can't for the life of me understand why XXL put him on the cover. The guy is not a rapper, but
the class he was in, that dude is by far the best artist.
Yeah, the best. Well, I give Denzel Curry might give him a run for his money.
Denzel Curry does.
But other than that,
Lil Dicky. LD.
Who was on that? 21 Savage, Lil Yachty,
Kodak, Lil Uzi.
Basically all the...
Don't get me wrong. 21 Savage,
fine.
they're music bops. They go hard.
They make good music,
but like if we're gonna get down to the artistry of, give me Anderson .Paak, give me Denzel Curry. I'll even take Lil Dicky.
You know who else is on that cover?
Lil Dicky's funny as shit.
You know who else is on that cover?
Who?
Designer.
Yeah. Dude, fuck. Designer. Talk about the quickest fall off of all time. Because this dude had a following.
He did.
Because he had Panda, and then Kanye had him on The Life of Pablo.
Got signed to good music, working with Pusha T. He dropped New English, his first full length project. Right after, like, the summer after Panda got big.
Yeah.
And I remember I, like, got on Tidal and got because it only dropped on Tidal at first. I remember I got on Tidal, got, like, a free subscription, and I wanted to listen to that album. Yeah, I was like, what does Designer have to do?
If this dude can do more of this.
Exactly.
And change it a little bit. But he didn't. He did not, bro.
It was disappointing.
It was brutal,
bad.
Arguably.
Yeah. I remember listening, even at that point, I was still a youngin' in my music listening career, and like I was just so confused as to how he thought any of it was good.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
it was
like,
just not a good
are you
album.
even saying things? I don't understand. You have to tell. Oh my god. Okay. Let's not stray too far. But quickly to tie up all the music releases we're gonna talk about for this year, the short, like the little EPs. So
I've got two.
We've
two
had
in mind.
Zachary or
Zakari, if you will,
as his EP Run Wild Run Free, which is his first, actually his first collection of music, solo music, period. Because he just got thrown onto Love. And then
he was on What's What, I think, with Isaiah Rashad. I think that's what that song was called.
Yeah, or What's Wrong.
What's Wrong.
Yeah, What's Wrong. And he had these like small features and stuff, and people were like, when Love came out, people were like,
this dude goes.
He goes.
Speaking of which, that's produced by Teddy Walton, who has reached out to me and Tavares for promotion.
He has.
So he's a Grammy-nominated guy who's reached out to us for promotion. Not gonna flex like that, but I'm gonna flex like that. You know?
Yeah, you got to.
Because at one point we were bigger than this fucking guy. But now he's there. We're here, making a podcast for the tens of you.
Yeah, but like, so he did that, and then he got signed to TDE earlier this year in January, February, finally, which I thought he was already signed.
I thought he was obviously heavily associated.
Yeah, he was heavily associated with them. So he gets signed, and then he puts out Run Wild, Run Free. Which we just got done listening to.
We got listening to just before we were recording.
Yeah.
Not for the first time, but just again.
That shit is good. That is good.
It is an ensemble of just beautiful vocals.
Oh, yeah.
All from him.
And it really, like, I think it gives us a good portrait of what Zachary is as an artist, who he is as an artist, and who he's going to be. And I really loved that EP because it the spirit of it, the entire spirit of it was just infectious.
It feels right.
Like, it felt right. You know, every song.
That's what we're getting into a lot, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you can tell that me and Tavares are slanted towards these albums that make us have a feeling.
Yeah.
It does, like, not even a feeling in particular.
Yeah.
Just like if you can make everything come together,
a cohesive picture,
right? Then like it's going to be good.
You've done something right.
Yeah.
And he did, because it felt like each track, it felt like it was supposed, the one that came after was supposed to come after.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like each like pulled from the same like palette, and it was just a really solid EP put out by this young artist. Another one who is going to continue to I think at some point he could be a huge part of TDE. Like,
absolutely.
When we get past when we get past J-Rock and Kendrick and Schoolboy, and once they start like getting older and stop making music as often, that's when I think Zachary, SZA,
Isaiah Rashad. Where's
Isaiah
fucking Rashad?
Yo, where is he?
He's been missing for 4 years.
He really has. Like that boy needs to make an album, put it out. Like, I know you got it. But like,
I know you got it.
These people, and Sir too.
Sir.
Yeah, like these are the people who I think are gonna kind of continue to make TDE relevant as we move into the future, which is super cool because TDE is
amazing.
My bias is telling me to say that Dreamville is the best label,
because
but like
J. Cole. We love J. Cole.
We love J. Cole
on the Penny Bloom podcast.
We do, but TDE has a very credible argument for being the best label. Period.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
think they have a lot more commercial success, and I would definitely hand them the title for that right now.
Yeah.
I think skill wise, them and Dreamville are toe to toe, man.
Oh yeah, me too. Because
they got J. Cole, JID.
Oh yeah.
We got Ari Lennox coming up. That's their SZA equivalent.
They got Loot, Omen, Kaz.
Earth Gang.
Earth Gang. Those, and when we saw them in concert, that was like
they were live. They were better than Young Thug.
They were way better than Young Thug
in live concert.
Yeah.
For the Thugger stands out there, I know they exist, and I like Thug. He's
Thug's
kind of
good.
a guilty pleasure of mine.
He is.
But he did not bring it in that performance.
No, I was not interested at all in what he had to say.
Yeah, but Earth Gang
got me hype. I was like, these dudes are like really getting lit.
They were doing that shit right.
And like I've been listening to their last album. Oh, they actually might have released something.
Did they have a 2019 release too?
If not, it was late 2018. Yeah.
Late 2018. Royalty.
Yeah. So Royalty. That is. Have you listened to Royalty?
I have.
It's fire. Like
it is amazing.
Everything from what's it here? Let me go to it. Cocktail. That's the shit. Nothing but the best. Build even off the lot. Like all like they are so
LOL
good.
SMH.
That's like every song on there actually.
It's only 8 songs. It's a really quick, easy
and like
listen.
half of them are
great.
skits too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They dropped that song earlier this year though with Thugger.
Oh yeah,
Proud of You.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Proud of You is really good.
Proud of You.
I bet you they made that on tour. Like I guarantee.
Oh yeah, they had
made that on tour. But yeah, Earth Gang is another like those two dudes are gonna do something like
so
especially
I think,
working with JID like.
Oh, the future of Dreamville and TDE together.
Oh, yeah.
It is sad.
JID is just getting started.
JID is going to be a star.
Yeah.
He is going to be a rap superstar.
That guy raps like...
The reception of DiCaprio 2, I did not expect.
I didn't either.
It got great.
It did.
Great reception. Like, this thing was a big deal when it dropped, and I did not see that coming.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. I knew, like, I was waiting on this album. Like, I loved, like, the title, like, his aim for it. He's kind of, like, building off of this mixtape that he had, which was also really good. But, like, what he came with on DiCaprio, too, I was just like, yo, you really are a rapper. You did that shit! Like, every song, I was like, holy shit.
He is coming correct at us.
Oh, no, for sure. I remember listening to, what was it? Hold on.
Dude, Off D's.
Off D's, just... I can't.
Get on my dick. Get on my dick. What am I hitting? What am I hitting? Cannabis. What am I split? Hannibal. Look what I did. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Beautiful. No, okay. Off the Zoinkies.
Off the Zoinkies, bro.
Yo. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, this has got to be a hit. I remember.
And it was. Off so the Zoinkies, bro.
Yeah, Off the Zoinkies was great. I actually wrote a review for this. This came out on a Sunday night at 12. I don't know why he dropped it on a Sunday night, but it came out on a Sunday night, and I had the review story was due the next day at 12 noon. And I stayed up till about 3 or 4 writing the review for this album because that's just how fucking good it was.
Dude, top to bottom. This thing didn't miss.
It didn't. It really did.
And, like, I know I said that earlier about, like, Logic's Supermarket.
Uh-huh.
That is not on anywhere near the level of what this album was.
No, not at all. I think, honestly, like, JID, I feel like in a lot of ways takes Logic's talents and just, like...
And amplifies them.
Yeah, it does what Logic should have done with it.
Exactly.
It's like, Logic, if you would have just stuck to the rap shit and stopped, like, getting caught up in being half black, then maybe you could have did this, but JID just went out there.
With its hat, like Stephon Marbury and Strawberries, dude. That is so dope.
Strawberries was so good, yeah.
He had a Method Man and Joey Badass feature on the same song,
and it was called.
You are not going to gain the respect of New York. There's not a lot you could do more.
That shit was called, what was it called? Hotbox?
Hotbox. Yeah.
Yeah, Hotbox. Yeah, and that's like, what's a better title for a Method Man, Joey Badass, and JID song?
It's so fitting.
It is so
and like
fitting.
I mean, if you got these two, the established New York legend Method Man and this semi-established, he's big in New York, very big in New York, Joey Badass. On the same track, you are immediately going to have New York on your side.
You're going to, yeah. And like that's even coming. So JID is from Atlanta, but Dreamville does a lot of work in New York. J. Cole went to college in New York, got signed in New York, started his career really in New York. So like having that love up the coast never's gonna hurt you. Especially
and Dreamville is another East Coast really.
Oh yeah.
Really like getting back into what we were talking about, the Wu-Tang's influence. They're an East Coast ensemble too.
Exactly, and I'm really interested to see what Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
Oh, Revenge of the Dreamers.
I remember when Revenge of the Dreamers 2 came out. My man Charles hit me up and was like, "Hey, this album came out, Revenge of the Dreamers," and I had never heard of it.
Yeah.
But he knew J. Cole was my favorite artist, so he was like, "You need to listen to this. This is like J. Cole's thing." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I listened to Revenge of the Dreamers 2, and it changed my life. Like I didn't even know like what Dreamville really was until I listened to that project.
Exactly.
And then I was like, wait a minute, this is really good. Like having that collective group project is something that is not happening enough. Like what if every label just got together
and did that shit
for a couple weeks
the way
every
good
year.
music did.
Yeah.
Like when they put out the Cruel Summer.
Cool Summer, yeah.
Cruel Summer. It was when they had like Don't Like.
Yeah,
shit like that
exactly.
Like they did that. Revenge of the Dreamers does that. Black Panther in a way was TDE's ensemble album.
It was, yeah, de facto.
Yeah, like in a way. But like if they like really made a point to do this every few years.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
That would be
the places they could go.
Yeah, I know. And like you get like these artists, like Dreamville has a ton of artists, Kaz, Omen, even Ari Lennox.
Boz. We forgot Boz.
Oh shit.
Boz is probably my favorite besides J. Cole.
Yo,
I'm not even capping right there.
This is not really related at all, but I was thinking about this the other day, and I saw a tweet from Ibrahim, the president of Dreamville, that said that Too High to Riot's a classic. Like that.
Oh, it is.
And I was just thought about it, and I was like,
it is.
That's a classic. That is 100% a classic album.
It is.
Like,
dude, Night Job.
Night Job.
Night Job, bro.
I've played this for so many people, and not one has not liked this song.
There's never been a person alive who could listen to this and go, nope. And if they do, it's just because they don't want to like it.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't want to like rap. They don't want to like J. Cole. It's Boss is that guy, but nobody knows him. But Revenge of the Dreamers is exactly what gives them that opportunity to get them on that higher level.
On that path.
So like Kaz's album that came out last year was a hit. Nobody listened to.
Nobody listens
because nobody knows Kaz. But Kaz has been spitting fire. Like he's
has
been doing
Zendaya. That shit went.
Oh my god,
that shit went.
Was
when
so
J. Cole
good.
was like, "I'm trying to hook my boy up with Zendaya," like hey, respect that girl though. Like
yeah, exactly. See, it's like cool stuff. He had a song with Kendrick on there too.
This man's name is Kaz. I guarantee you, everyone listening doesn't know who Kaz is.
Exactly. And Kaz is really that guy. Like he's been making music. They got Loot. Loot he's a very East Coast person. Like if you like East Coast like old type rap, then Loot's a guy that you want to be listening to. And they just have all these artists that nobody knows about, but they need to. Like TDE, like SZA she's had her commercial time. Like Schoolboy Q.
J-Rock just got
J-Rock has had his commercial time. Yeah, and like people know TDE artists, but you think of Dreamville and you're just like, oh, it's J. Cole.
It's J. Cole.
Yeah, J. Cole and maybe JID.
Maybe JID for some.
Yeah, for some.
Yeah,
but other than
maybe
that,
Boz for others. Like
maybe Boz for others. But other than those three, like you don't really know the other people who were like really pushing this. I think this like label to be the best that it can be.
Yeah.
Like J. Cole didn't pick these people in accident. He picked them on purpose because he knew.
And what's beautiful is if you like J. Cole, you will like everybody else
because this is
he is the pinnacle for what we were talking about earlier about creating this feeling.
Exactly.
It's all about the fucking feeling.
It's all about the feeling, and like he does such a like. Every artist on Dreamville, I think, could get on an album and make the same, like, make an album that has that same feeling.
The same feeling, and still somehow make it completely different.
Exactly.
It's
they all
remarkable.
do it in different ways.
I can't. I don't think TDE could do that.
Oh no, I don't think so too either.
Because
right now. Like,
TDE,
I think
TDE is different. Okay. Is a different type of great.
I think Black Hippie could do it.
Oh, Black Hippie could absolutely.
But they've signed on a ton of other people besides Black Hippie, which makes it hard. But Black Hippie should have fucking dropped an album too.
Black Hippie, man, that was the biggest.
That was a huge.
That is the second biggest letdown behind J. Cole and Kendrick's collab tape.
Why don't they just make it? Why don't they just be like?
Well, you know they have it.
They have it. They do have it. They said that they have it.
There's no way these dudes haven't been working with each other for years.
Exactly. Like it's J. Cole and Kendrick. Like, they know everyone wants to see that.
Could you imagine the unification of the West Coast and East Coast if the Dreamville and TDE came together?
Yo, imagine how easy it would be for each of them to get just a feature verse from JID or Schoolboy or Isaiah or like. All it takes is they can send you a verse in 30 minutes. If you were like, hey bro, me and K-Dot are hooking up this collab project. You trying to have a verse? Who's gonna say no?
Exactly.
What the fuck? That's gonna be like the release of the century. Like when they do that, because they are number 1 and 2. Like undisputedly, like in terms of rap ability, they are the best right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's really not even a competition for me, at least. I don't know about other people, but they are doing.
They are 1 and 2, and they're widely viewed as 1 and 2. I feel like it's safe.
Yeah,
to say that they're 1 and 2 in terms of rap
Drake
ability.
Drake is in there, I guess, but like
I don't think Drake is in terms of rap ability.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just in terms of his success alone makes him the de facto greatest rapper of all time.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only rapper. Label. Yeah, the only rapper. We're here we go again, diving into this rabbit hole. We'll create a whole different segment for this, you know? It's like, it's just amazing the way they can... The only person who has ever done these numbers that Drake is doing in the rap game is 50.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when he did... When he was dropping in like 03...
Yeah, in the club, I remember
with,
that.
Shit, what was his debut album called? Why am I blanking on this?
Let me see.
What? Get Rich or Die Trying. What the fuck? Why did I blank on that? Okay. Yeah, it's he threw up numbers on that.
Oh yeah, he had In the Club. What else was on here?
In the Club. He had Pimp.
21 Questions.
21 Questions. 21 Questions is the first song I ever knew every lyric to.
Oh really? Holy crap! Yeah,
I was 3.
Holy shit!
I was 3, bro.
That is crazy. Yeah, this album was actually like really good, and then
and he hasn't matched it since.
No.
Get Rich or Die Trying was by far the biggest commercial success of his career, and 50's commercial run was a few years.
Oh yeah, it was. He was huge for a long time,
and he.
I would say probably this decade is when he really like.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get down to it, 2003 to 2008. Let's do that. That's 50's run. That's Lil Wayne's run.
Yeah.
And Lil Wayne's done better. He's fed into this decade. But the only rapper who has done what Drake is doing, just on an international, global scale, huge, is 50 Cent.
Oh yeah.
And he was nowhere near what Drake is.
No,
Drake
really
is a spectacle,
Drake
dude.
is a spectacle. I would argue, though, that Lil Wayne probably maybe did a bit more than 50. Because Lil Wayne's, like, around 2009, 2010, 2008 even, a little bit, he stopped...
It was Carter 3, 4. And then the stuff in between with I'm Not a Human Being and stuff like
exactly. But he stopped being, like, this, like... He was known as the lyricist. He was known as this dude who has bars, and he proved that he had the bars. Nobody doubted it. Nobody. He was widely accepted as the best rapper alive at the time.
Oh yeah,
and
best rapper alive. Best rapper alive. He talked about it.
Yeah, that's a fine point to make. I tend to agree. But he started making pop songs and he started making rock songs and
he branched out.
He branched out and allowed him to get sort of this like
this global fame.
Yes, this global fame that like saw him as a skateboarder rather than like this rapper.
That
from the
phase
hood.
was interesting.
That was an interesting phase, but I will say, as a 9-10-year-old, I didn't hate it. He had that one song with Rudolph. What's that guy's name?
Kevin Rudolph.
Kevin Rudolph. That was my shit. What was it?
Let it ride.
Yes,
let it ride.
That was
like now the only reason I like it's nostalgia.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, completely.
But like, yeah, like listening now, I'm like, damn, this song sucks. But like, it's still like, yo, this shit banged back in the
really
day.
Did. As a kid, that was my song. I'm not even gonna lie. But like Lil Wayne was he was one of those people who was just like he didn't even have to do too much more, and like unfortunately due to the circumstances of his career he couldn't for a while, but
he'll be back in November.
Yeah, he'll be back in November. But like he was still, people were still like, who's the best rapper? I mean, well, you got to talk about Wayne there.
You got to talk about Weezy.
And it's funny how Wayne kind of ushered Drake into the rap game, and then Drake just
and with early Drake. Yeah. Early Drake, you hear that.
Oh,
you know Lil Wayne ushered him in.
Oh yeah.
Because I'd argue that like Drake is nowhere near his rap ability now.
Oh.
As opposed to what he was early on.
Early
on, he felt like a good rapper.
Yes, I remember like hearing
like Thank Me Later.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, like Take Care. Even Take Care, his rap ability was great, but he was still super pop.
He was, yeah. There was a.
It wasn't until
what was
like
the songs that
Nothing Was the Same. That was great rap ability.
Oh,
it wasn't until Views.
Yeah, really.
Views. If you're reading This Is Too Late, even was still great rap ability, but he was making that shift.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
You felt that shift there.
Yeah. So like on songs like Priceless with Birdman, like I remember like hearing Drake and being like, yo, this dude is like, he's gonna be something like this. He can really rap, and he had like, he was really going in. But then he just like, I would say it probably like, it started with Take Care, but then he strayed away, and with shoot, I'm blanking on the name. Things Were Never the Same. Nothing was the same. Yeah, with Nothing Was the Same, he kind of got back into his hip hop, but then Views, and he's just like, hey, Caribbeana.
Yeah, like, hey, this is
island.
And don't get me wrong, it was good for what it was.
Yeah,
it was like the pop like dance vibe. Mm-hmm. One Dance was obviously the song of the summer.
Oh yeah. That's still my song. I
fuck with One Dance heavy, dude. Yeah, like that's still
just
like
a good song.
Every time I listen to it, I'm like, okay, yeah.
It's like one of those.
It's
like,
Summer 16.
Exactly.
You
know? It's Summer 16 was a moment.
Oh, dude.
Summer 16.
We'll do a whole different episode on Summer 16. Okay?
Yeah,
because we could. We could.
Didn't DJ Khaled's album come out that year too?
Major Key.
Major Key.
I think that was 2017.
Oh damn. No. Oh yeah, no. It was.
But yeah, we'll do the Summer 16 in a different episode.
Okay, but that was a huge thing. But I think for me, my lowest point with Drake was More Life. Like,
dude,
that like dance hall shit that he was going for. I was
it missed.
I was just like, this is
plainly it missed.
Drake. Yeah, it really did. Like, he had songs with Kanye that were forgettable.
Yeah.
How do you get on a song with Kanye and make it forgettable?
Yeah, like Drake and Kanye West. That's supposed to be the biggest song out.
Yes, exactly. And I saw that and I was like, oh,
Watch shit. Watch out for me, I'm about to glow.
I was just like...
I was like, I mean, it was good.
Yeah, it wasn't...
But it could have been so much more, you know?
Nothing about it. He was just... It came off really bad. He was like, it's not an album.
It's not an album, it's a playlist.
Like,
yo, he's the only person that's ever called an album a playlist. And frankly... Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a playlist is not a compilation of music you made. Like, what are you talking about?
It's a compilation of a lot of music.
That's like, called an album. Like, a playlist is a list of songs that you play. Like, like this, you just seem pretentious, like, right there.
And frankly, after More Life, I had a bad taste in my mouth for Drake.
I had a terrible taste in my mouth for Drake. I was just like, I'm really...
Like, ahead of Scorpion, I was like, he better not.
Yeah, no.
He better not. And he didn't.
He didn't.
He did good with Scorpion.
Scorpion was a good release, and I think it was him kind of also going back to that his hip hop roots of being like, all right, you know, I'll spit one time for you.
Yeah, and he
questionable.
Did, you know what, Scorpion? I look back on that, it's a good album.
Yeah,
it's a really good album.
It's a good album. Questionable on, you know, whether, like, how much his actual rapping ability and writing ability came into that. But,
I'm not going to lie. After the Meek Mill beef, too,
I don't think Drake writes most of his music.
That's a problem for me. I'm like, damn, dude, if it's, like, even in question.
Yeah.
Like, because it was abundant. A lot of people were like, yeah, he doesn't. But then there were other, like, credible artists where they're like, oh, I don't know. I've watched him, and he's like, and, like, that's cool, like, he can, but, like, if there's enough, like, dissonance on that, where, like, people are like, no, he doesn't write his shit, that's gonna be in my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if it's valid or not. Like,
and I'm just like,
I feel bad for that. I'm like, damn, like, I hope he is.
Yeah.
I hope he's writing his shit.
It's like, I know for a fact Kendrick and Cole are writing their own
They're
shit.
writing their
like,
shit.
There's no chance that they're letting
Yeah,
them,
like, have you heard that story that Eminem said about Kendrick? He was, like, the first time he was ever in the studio with him, he said, go outside, write a verse, because I need you to prove to me that you're the one writing this shit.
I've heard. Oh no, I have heard of that. Yeah.
He's like, I need you to prove to me that you're the one writing these verses.
That's something M would do.
You are not allowed in my studio until you write a verse. Come in here and spit it for me.
Yeah.
And then he did, and Eminem was like, all right.
All right, you're really that guy.
That's you.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like we need more of that in like the music industry, because like. You go through these albums and it's fine, and this is kind of a trend that was set by pop music, but it's like you just see 10, 12 writers on a song, and you're just like,
it's a letdown a little bit, you know.
It is. You want to know that the person that you're listening to is the person that created this music. Otherwise, you're giving them love and credibility, which they're not really due.
Yeah, and I'm all for appreciating the talent that's there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Drake has a lot of talent.
Yeah,
He's proven that. He can sing. He can kind of sing. He can rap.
Yeah.
And like, I'm there for that. Like, that's
exactly.
Like that's. It reminds me of like this American Idol, The Voice type shit. Like, yo, you're a good singer. Prove to me you can write this shit though.
Yeah, exactly. Which it's really important in music that you are able as an artist to make, once again, that feeling, but that feeling starts with what you're saying. So
exactly.
If you have to be saying the right things in order to get to that point where you've created a good project.
Yes.
It's like Tyler. I know that like a lot of what Tyler does is like, one, he doesn't even say much at all, but when he does say things, I know that there are things that he's written because he has a style. He has like a flavor to him.
Yeah, and I think we're getting into all these like big name artists that are like credibility based, and just like everyone knows them for being these rap ability guys.
Yeah.
But like, even if we're gonna talk about painting that feeling again, I'd say that even these guys like Uzi does a really good job of painting a feeling.
Oh yeah, no, he does.
Yachty does. He has done a good job of creating a feeling.
Yeah.
He's missed a couple times, but Uzi, like thinking back to the Perfect Love tape again.
Yo,
Summer 16.
That was a moment. That was a moment.
Like that was a.
I remember me and my cousin had been waiting for weeks on that album, and I remember like it dropped, and we it was like midday. It was a really weird drop time, but it was like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
I remember that. Like, I don't know why, but I remember that.
Yeah, it was 4 o'clock on like a Saturday or a Sunday, and me and my cousin were just lounging around. Like I think we were like taking a nap, or I was taking a nap, and my cousin comes in. He's like, "It's out." I was like,
"You're like, yeah, okay."
The Perfect Love tape, yeah. And we just listened to it, and we were just like, every song on here is a fucking banger, because
this should go.
It all felt like it was consistent, cohesive, and it flowed together. Like each song was meant to be placed alongside the song that it was next to, which is an important thing to do with your music. But I think Uzi succeeds in doing it through his voice primarily.
Yeah,
because he has such a distinct voice and such a distinct flow and
swag.
Yeah.
He's so pretty. He's the baddest bitch there is. He's the baddest bitch in the rap
game. He really
game.
is. No, that's without a doubt. And I love that Uzi, like, people hate on him, oh, it's mumble rap or whatever, but like I remember like when that was a huge debate that people were having, like mumble rap is trash and all that. I was never ever on that, like I don't obviously give mumble rap the credibility I would give to Pimp a Butterfly or something like
Butterfly
that.
Or
but like
2014 Four Stills Dry.
In its own right.
It's good.
It is good.
It's a vibe.
It all depends on the artist and whether or not they make a good album.
Yeah, and like I like whenever I can tell that this sound, excuse me, is this artist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like with you listen to some of Lil Yachty's stuff, like that Teenage Emotions, is that what that was called?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That there were songs on that where I was like, yeah, this is what Lil Yachty, this is what I think of when I think of Lil Yachty. And then there was stuff on that where I was like, dude, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, no.
Like, this is not good.
So I remember, like, I loved Lil Boat and Summer Songs too, and then Teenage Emotions came out, and I just stopped listening to Lil Yachty after that.
I was super excited for that too. I was like,
yeah,
because I was like, damn, this. It's like it because I think he released a song on pre-release with Diplo, Forever Young.
Oh yeah, Forever Young. Forever Young so is good.
One of my favorite summer songs ever.
Yeah, no, that was a really good song.
And I was like, oh man, if the whole album kind of feels like this, then I am really excited. And the whole album did not feel like that.
No, not at all. And from there, like, Lil Yachty obviously had, like, I think he did a lot. I think Lil Boat 2 was really good. I actually I don't remember.
You haven't given Nothing to Prove the good listen.
Yeah, no.
I think, yeah, I have. It was a surprise for me. Because, you know, you're coming up claiming I have nothing to prove.
Uh-huh.
You got to follow that up. He did a pretty good job.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously still has stuff to prove, but he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Lil Yachty's one of those people who comes from that 2016, 2015 time. Yeah. Like, when One Night came out. That era, yeah, I guess we can't call that an era. Like,
it kind of is, because that came and went, but it was a moment. The feeling from 2015, 2016 and stayed.
Yeah.
You know, like, it is there. It's its own thing.
Yeah. And I hoped Lil Yachty didn't fall off after Teenage Emotions, because I really felt like he was going to, because I was like, oh boy, this is I don't know. It seemed like he had the everybody complex there. Yeah. He was going for this huge, like, message of equality.
Like, yo, everyone can be involved. And, like, I love that, you know? Like, that's good. Great. Do that. But, like, if you're going to do it well.
Do it well. And don't, like, sacrifice, like, the goodness of the music in order to, like, say this thing, because you're there primarily to make
exactly. Like, music. If you're going to do that, that idea, dedicate your time to that.
Yeah, exactly. And if you listen to any interview with any, like, credible and, like, solidified artist in the game, they will tell you that their first priority is to make some shit that sounds and feels good.
Exactly.
Like, it's not about, like, the message comes secondary, or the message is the jumping off point, but from there you've got
to make sure that you can make this message come off in an appeling way.
Yeah, right.
Because if you have the message but you don't have the sound, nobody's gonna hear your fucking message.
Nobody's gonna listen. Yeah. you gotta have the sound before you can, like, talk about all this shit. And I don't know.
We're giving him a little too much credit there on the Teenage Emotions things, because he didn't really go for that message.
That's true.
But, like, the cover art, I think it's wonderful.
It's really
that's
cool.
The all inclusion part of it. And there wasn't a lot of content in it that was like, everybody love.
That was really the main problem with the Logic. Was just, like, listening through everybody, you're just like, God, are you gonna
I have a canvas of that of the everybody cover art right here.
Oh shit, that was a dope cover.
Dude, that cover art,
there's a ton of Easter eggs in there and everything, and, like,
beautiful.
Yeah, it was a really cool cover.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked all this time about creating that feeling, and just so many artists are capable of it and have done it.
Oh yeah.
And could do it just more. Like Yachty.
And it's obviously not an easy thing to accomplish.
It's not easy at all. That's what makes me think an album is, like, great.
Yeah.
Is like when Brockhampton, Iridescence.
Oh
that
my God.
I felt that. You know.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith with
Sire. That was crazy.
And even his most recent release, that created a feeling too.
Oh yeah, Sunset Tapes. That was
the Sunset Tapes, dude. I loved that. Was that late? Was that December 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because if we left that out of the conversation for 2019, that's a mistake.
Yeah, I really can't wait for I actually can't wait for Aries to come out.
I'm really excited for that too.
Yeah, that'll be. I'm really. It's been a while, and he's this has apparently been a thing since Sire happened. Like,
yeah, he's had this in
always,
motion.
yeah,
He's had the plan.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see like what he does with all that, because that could be really good. I think Jaden Smith was actually my most listened to artist on Spotify last year, which was kind of disappointing. But at the same time,
you're like,
I know for a fact it was because I just listened to Sire.
Oh yeah, Sire.
That, and actually he released his EP last summer, Sire the electric version.
Yeah.
That was so interesting to me. I've never heard like someone take these songs and just redo them on, I don't even know,
different instruments and different different instrumentals,
and just add like this electric flavor to it. And I was just like, one, not expected. Two, I fucking love it. Like,
yeah, if we're gonna talk about like the feeling, there's this wave of that electric feeling. That Steve Lacy produces, that Gary Clark Jr. produces.
Yeah.
That he did with Sire, the electric version. It's in the name. And that to me is the influence we were talking about earlier with Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Jimi Hendrix seems to have a lot of influence on what music is becoming right now.
Yeah, I think so too. And he kind of epitomizes, I think, the spirit of this generation. And
absolutely.
This idea that it's kind of do what feels right.
Do what you fucking want, dude.
Express yourself, and beyond that, like, what's up is up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck everything else, just be you.
Just be you. And that was a huge thing for Jimi Hendrix, I know. Like, this is something different, but like, just with like Woodstock and the moment that was like back in was it the 60s, 70s?
60s is when that started.
60s. When Woodstock started, like, that was a huge thing for Jimi Hendrix, and like his whole movement was kind of created.
God, I love the 60s and 70s.
Woodstock. Yeah.
We'll have to do a deep dive into the 60s and 70s in a different episode.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'll write down our segment ideas. Since we've got, because we're not gonna have enough time to finish the segment ideas we even had for this one. We just dove so deep into music.
Yeah. Honestly, we could just
let's
music.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, sure.
Let's wrap up the with the other points that we had. So yeah, that was our general feeling of music in 2019. I'm dead. That's hilarious. But that's the kind of great conversation and deep diving you can expect from me and Tavares.
Yeah, exactly.
All right?
Like,
this is the Penny Bloom podcast.
Why would we half-ass?
We get lost in the moment, right? We do this shit.
Oh, yes.
So, next we were going to go into a different aspect of pop culture and the recent movie game.
Yes.
Specifically, superheroes.
Superheroes, the MCU.
Endgame, bro. Endgame.
That was a... This is just a good ass song. Like,
oh my
this
God.
Is, like, I fucking love this song.
I fucking love this song, bro.
Like, this is... which one is this?
For those that can't hear, it is Gone, Gone, Thank You by Tyler, the Creator, from Igor.
Yeah, no, this one is so good. I love when he does his, like... every album, he has the
half.
They're like the two songs on one track. It's so good. Anyways, the MCU Endgame, I think, was one of the best movies of this decade.
It is my personal favorite.
Really?
Like, probably favorite movie ever. And I've been stingy in picking my favorite movie ever. For the longest time, it was The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club has been my favorite movie for like 5-6 years. And every time I watch a movie, I'm like, oh yeah, it's good, but is it my favorite? And I'm like, nah. This one, the reason it's my favorite is just because it felt like the culmination of my childhood.
It did.
Since I was like 3 or 4, I have been all in on superheroes, dude.
Oh yeah.
I've loved Spider-Man. I've loved... Well, my favorite when I was little was Batman, which isn't MCU. But I loved Spider-Man. And I got older, Iron Man came out, I saw that in theaters. Iron Man 2 came out, I saw that in theaters.
Like, in 2008 when Iron Man came out, like, I can't remember a person who hadn't seen that movie.
Exactly.
Like, and that was like right around the Christian Bale Dark Knight era. So like that was already a hit. Like everybody knew that the Batman movies were good, like very good superhero movies.
Yeah.
And then Marvel was starting up their shit with Iron Man, and that was just a great movie for that time. Dude,
and what's crazy is nobody could have seen this coming.
And then they just they just blew.
They started this story with Iron Man.
Iron Man.
And in 2008, it was like, we'll just do Iron Man for now.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yo, let's do this shit.
Yeah, let's really get into it. And then they started introducing Thor and Captain America, and then they slowly tie in Shield, and then
through the years,
the 2012 I think was when
the first Avengers came out. Yeah,
the first Avengers, that was another huge moment too. Like
that was a moment. That was a moment in like culture. Like
because
that wasn't
everyone wanted to see that, and no, I don't know if we'd seen that on screen.
Like that sort of ensemble.
Yeah, like. It was the comic books quite literally coming to life. Exactly. And that was I was a kid, I was what 8, 9 years old when Iron Man came out. I was 12 or 11 when Avengers came out. This was my childhood.
Exactly.
Here. Like
I grew up on this shit, bro.
Yeah.
It started when I was 8.
That's crazy.
When I was 8.
Yeah.
And I'm finishing off at 19, and it's not even finished though.
Yeah,
like it's gonna keep
really
going,
not.
but these characters that I've grown attached to through my formative years, it's
my formative years.
These people, dude, I cried the entire fucking movie. I was like, the entire time I was just like, this is over.
I know it was so sad. It was really like,
dude, it was amazing though.
Yeah,
I was just like, and like a lot of it wasn't even that it was sad. It was just that, like, the moment when everyone comes in for the giant battle scene, and Captain America hears, on your left, from the Falcon, because that's what was said at the very beginning of the first Captain America movie.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, on your left.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got chills, and then all these holes are opening, and I'm just like, I'm like overwhelmed with this joy that's just overcoming me. And then he goes, Avengers. He reaches his hand out, and I can never remember how to pronounce this. Mjolnir?
Maybe that sounds close.
He holds it out. He's like, Avengers. Holds his hand out.
Oh my God.
I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, I remember, like, people were screaming in the movie theater when that happened. Like, people were going crazy.
It was a moment.
It was like, I really give them props because it is so hard, and like we talked about this in the last episode with like building up this thing,
up this universe.
Yes,
that doesn't exist.
Yeah, and like how do you end it? How do you tie it all up? How do you make viewers feel satisfied? And I think
they did it so well.
They really did that, and like walking out of that movie, I was just like, it's sad. Obviously,
I felt like my life was changed.
I'm never gonna see a lot of these characters on screen again, and I won't like get to go back or like there's no more for their story. But like it's not like you can't go back.
Exactly.
And you can't rewatch these movies and like see these characters more. But it's just
I'm giving this first decade of the MCU a break. I'm not gonna watch these again for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to revisit them, and I'm going to relive my childhood, and I'm going to be like, holy shit.
That's the best way.
I lived through this. Like, this was the moment. This was what my life was.
Like, this is what we'll be telling our kids about. Like,
this is, like, that's the shit, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I'm going to be, like, 37 and have a kid that's I don't know, hopefully not that old. And, like, I'm going to be showing them these movies and be like, this is what I don't want to say this is like what made me or anything like that, but like it's a big part. Like the pop culture in general has a huge effect on who I am, who I've been, and who I've become as a person. It's hard to argue that anything has done it more than Marvel has, like on screen.
Yeah, it is, and I think like Marvel, just like whatever they do in the future, It'll be interesting because like they have to really reinvent themselves now.
Yeah, with the Fox deal, they got X-Men, they got Fantastic Four, Deadpool.
Oh wait, did Disney do a deal with Fox?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I didn't know
huge
that.
Deal.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so they own 21st Century Fox now.
Oh,
so
Disney owns everything.
Dude, yeah, it's unfair, but they have monopoly.
Yeah.
The way they tie these characters in, I'm going to be so excited for, because we had all these X-Men movies, which were amazing, with Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine.
That's so good, yeah. Those are other ones that are like very like large staples in like, that time in the MCU.
And that also got wrapped up very recently too, because they had to with Logan. And the way I'm really excited to see a new Wolverine, and a new Storm and a new
Yeah.
Cyclops and
Yeah.
all these huge characters that aren't in this MCU but will be.
Yeah.
And one I'm always really excited to see is Deadpool. Deadpool's fucking hilarious, dude.
Deadpool is...
Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is undefeated.
I actually just watched Deadpool 2 for the first time like a couple weeks ago.
I saw it in theaters by myself.
And that's a good movie to go see by yourself because you don't even need anyone else to entertain you. But I may or may not have been sober when I was watching Deadpool 2, but I laughed my ass off. That shit was so funny. Like, I was just like sitting there like,
dude,
they actually did this in a theatrical release.
Yeah, and the shit you don't expect from that movie is the end almost made me cry.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, holy shit, dude. This is Deadpool. It's not supposed to be sad.
I know. It's supposed to be, like, funny. Like
she died at the very beginning. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Oh,
and then they showed, like, the credit montage
exactly.
where they're like, wait, what up? Wait, what the fuck? Did they just kill her? And I was like, this is exactly what's going through my mind.
I know. And it's like, I love, like, how they do Deadpool because it's just such an innovative way of filmmaking.
It's amazing.
It is. It's super
Plainly,
cool.
Deadpool has some of the best solo movies of any of the superheroes.
Hands down.
I'd argue they're almost as good, if not better, than almost every MCU solo movie. Besides the Captain America.
It feels like the movies are just as much Deadpool as Deadpool is a character.
Exactly.
Like, they're just a part of his character.
Exactly. The movie making itself is what makes it.
Like, are there times where he breaks the fourth wall? Yeah.
Several times.
Yeah, several times.
He does it a lot. Which is... You don't expect that.
Yeah, no.
You're not looking for that in a superhero movie.
I know.
Homie's just like, yeah, this fucker don't know what's coming for him. And they're like,
yeah, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, it's just like that sort of wild shit that, like, characterizes Deadpool, and it's so perfect that they did that in the movies. But the interesting thing would be if they put that into the main continuity of the MCU.
And I think what I'm really happy with is the fact that it has come to a sort of end. To a point where they have to reinvent themselves in a way that will be more appropriate for what Deadpool is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, they can do a whole new landscape of, like, things that's just a different type of filmmaking, a different type of script writing. Because they've been going towards this comedy element that Deadpool has with, like, Thor.
They've done
Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are very Deadpool-esque movies, like, in terms of the writing.
Yeah.
And I think Deadpool could easily be tied in to the MCU the direction they're going.
Oh, yeah, no, and I think that's Marvel's main strength, if we're being honest, is their ability to kind of make these comic stories, like, very serious and realistic, but at the same time, they don't miss the fact that they're comic book stories.
Exactly.
And, like, they're supposed to be funny, and they're supposed to be, like, cheeky, and, like, just have, like, these small things that, like, when you go watch it with your family, and you're just like, oh, wow, that's actually really fucking funny. Yeah, and, like, that to me, that's where the DC universe falls apart.
Dude, DC has been flopping, but they're on the up and up, I think. I think with Aquaman, and I haven't seen Shazam, but I've heard Shazam is good. Have you heard genuinely good movie.
Have you heard about Batman?
Robert Pattinson?
Yes.
I don't know if that's I know that that's real for now.
I'm pretty sure he signed the contract.
Okay,
like,
I didn't know he signed
Batman
the contract
for a movie or two.
Yeah, I knew that was like in the rumor mill.
Oh, well, I'm not sure.
I don't know if he signed a contract or anything, but I have a feeling that, like, sometimes studios like this put out something like that, like, hey, Robert Pattinson might be the new Batman, just to get a feel. And then when everyone was like, damn, Robert Pattinson's gonna be the new Batman, they were like, okay, well, maybe Robert Pattinson won't be the new Batman.
Maybe not. Yeah, so it doesn't look like they have been confirmed yet.
But they're... Honestly, I wouldn't... He did a good job of portraying Edward Cullen in Twilight. So he's a good actor.
And I've looked at... I've seen a couple, like videos where they've talked about Robert Pattinson.
I'm wearing Batman socks.
And his... that's very apt. But... So after Twilight, Robert Pattinson kind of grew very... dissatisfied with, like, this idea of making, like, these huge commercial releases.
Yeah.
because it's
actor.
not. Yeah, exactly. It's not a the secret that Robert Pattinson hated the Twilight movies, which I'm really that's actually that's another thing. But
yeah, that's yeah, okay. I could go on for a while.
I could go for a while. That's but Robert Pattinson from there just started doing a bunch of small indie roles, and he wasn't I don't think he's had a big role like a major.
Nothing on the level of Twilight.
Yeah, nothing near that. Which he obviously had those offers, I'm sure.
Oh, he had to because he's a great actor.
Yeah,
he does do these roles very well.
So it makes me interested in what
and the way that Batman's an intense character.
And
that's what Edward Cullen was.
Looking at just Robert Pattinson as a person, I feel like his him as a person kind of fits Batman and
Bruce
what we've
Wayne
been
and his
to
idea.
believe.
Yeah.
I don't think he could do it. He looks like a fucking
if the
weirdo.
DC goes into the and I guess we'll just have to see. I don't know exactly what to expect from that, but I remain pretty optimistic about it.
Yeah,
I think Robert Pattinson wouldn't do a bad job at all.
I don't think so either. I definitely don't doubt that.
It's kind of the same as with Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh yeah.
I think if anything fails Robert Pattinson as Batman, it's going to be the writing, which I think is what failed Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh yeah, that really did. But the problem with that was that Ben Affleck, I'm pretty sure was writing on he was working in depth on those Batman movies.
Yeah, he was a big part of that.
They didn't go well, really at all. I was not satisfied with Ben Affleck as Batman.
I was not in the slightest, actually. Yeah. But I think he could have been great if just under different circumstances,
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that though.
So apparently there's this other guy still in the running, Nicholas Hoult, for it's between Nicholas Hoult and Robert Pattinson for the new Batman role.
Oh, Nicholas Hoult, I've seen him in Warm Bodies. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. I've seen.
He's gonna be Tolkien.
X-Men.
Okay, cool.
And really? Oh,
he's gonna play J.R.R. Tolkien in that.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I thought that's an interesting movie. I wonder if they'll make a movie about George R.R. Martin.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know enough about him, but I was gonna say I think Tolkien's life has been a little bit more intense and exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure it
for
has.
a movie.
Yeah, I actually don't know much about that. I might need to go see that movie. That's not out, is it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the my idea for Twilight. Or not Twilight. Batman.
I was like, okay, we can talk about it.
The Batman that I wanted, that I didn't get, was an idea where we move Gotham City to somewhere in the UK and make Kit Harington play Jon Snow as Batman.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Jon Snow's character. Mm-hmm. That's pretty Batman-esque.
Oh yeah, no, it is. He's very what do they call it? Not angsty, but he's just he's always
pretty angsty.
Brooding.
Yeah, brooding. That's it.
He's always just oh my god, what the fuck?
My watch has ended.
my watch has ended.
That's just him,
Yeah, basically. Which I think is cool. That would be interesting. I wonder if Kit Harington's a bit too short to play that.
He's not this big towering figure. He probably could, which is sad. That sucks, man.
It does. He looks much better as as Jon Snow.
Underdog fighter.
The underdog fighter, yeah.
Hero guy.
Who maybe that's why he's such a good sword fighter. He's so nimble.
Yeah. We just talked about Game of Thrones for an hour and 30 minutes. We'll do something else.
We'll chill.
But so this has been the Penny Bloom Podcast, episode 2.
Indeed.
Signing off here, I am Coro Bloom on Twitter, CoroBloom, alongside Tav and Pen. Go ahead.
TAVA_PENN.
This is the Penny Bloom Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace be with you.